Welcome to another edition of Studio Q. I'm your host, Quincy, and today we are going one-on-one with Bishop T.D. Jakes.
Studio Q show, now you know.
Well, Bishop, I know that you said that people know everything about the people that they admire, but we know nothing about ourselves. What did you learn about yourself in writing Instinct?
Well, I learned that the impetus through which I wrote was to die empty, to pour out everything that I've experienced so that somebody else can use it. And I'm not saying that the book Instinct comprises all of that, but to begin that process so that the generation coming behind me has more tools than we did, and tips. And Instinct for me, as I wrote it, it was like, you know these people that have some sort of speech problem and they get a machine through which they now have a voice? Mm-hmm. The other side of me, beyond ministry, got a voice in Instinct. Mm-hmm. And to write it and to have people respond to it so is quite emotional for me because that part of me through which I have addressed business and led my family and instinctively lived my life doesn't always get to express itself to its fullest degree within the confines of clergy.
Yeah.
And to get that out there, and fearfully get it out there, for fear that people would not receive that part of me, and then to have them embrace it so affects me in a very personal way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely do. And you've been talking about going back to that house and looking at your 26-year-old self.
Right.
What would Bishop Jake 56 tell the 26-year-old about Instinct?
I would have told him to prepare for a broader array of life experiences. I would have told my 26-year-old self not to put so much energy in the problem you're facing right now, that it's a distraction, but to prepare for the problems you will face tomorrow. Mm. I would have told him that you're sitting on the side of the bed worried about the light bill and the water bill and how you're going to get milk for the baby. But you ought to be thinking about your future and how you're going to prepare for that, because the problems you have today will soon be gone. And the problems you have ahead of you are so much bigger. I would have told him that the little things that you struggle with right now are practice for bigger things, and to get the principles more than to focus on the problems. Mm-hmm. Because the principles, in theory, though, are small in comparison to what you ultimately will solve, the principles that drive your decisions are instinctive, and if you get the principles right, the whole process changes. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Oh, you would have been happy to meet you.
Yeah, you should have met me. Yeah, I needed me, you know. But that goes along with this whole statement of the only shame about youth is that it's wasted on young people. You know what I mean? Because by the time you get it, it says you're too old to do anything with it. But those are some of the things I would have told my 26-year-old self.
We need people to help us be our best self, and I know God helps you be your best self every day. How does your wife Sarita and your children help you to be your best self?
Oh, she's first of all, she's an amazing person. My wife is an incredible person. She helps me to be my best self because she's steady. I'm the one like who's all over the place. Ping, 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 ping. You don't see her running all over the place, you know.
Right.
She's steady, and she's stable, and she was an amazing mother to our children. Mm-hmm. And we're friends at the core. We're not just lovers, we're friends. And we've had hard times and knocks and disagreements and bruises, and I've disappointed her terribly, and she's frustrated me to the point I want to pull her hair out.
Right.
And 33 years later, we're still around to tell it, you know. And I can't say enough about her. She is always for me, even when she has no good reason to be. Mm. And I think she's incredible.
Yeah, and your children, because your daughter has a book out as well.
Yeah. My kids, let me tell you something. My kids, they're amazing. They're funny. They're all funny. They're all responsible. I'm very proud of that. My children are self-reliant. They pay their bills. They go to work every day. I didn't raise a lazy child. And they're smart and they're bright and they're thinkers. But they're also crazy and fun and goofy and nutcases, and all of them have their own personalities and their own flaws and their own struggles and all of that. But oh my, what an amazing asset they have been to my life, and oh, how much I only live to see them succeed.
What lesson has taken you the longest to learn?
You know what? It's funny you should ask me this, because I was just thinking about this morning. You know, in the book Instincts, I talk about the giant and the giraffe and the turtle.
Yeah.
And I talk about having that giraffe level thinking that giraffes eat from the tops of the trees, and there's always some turtle in the grass who's eating on his level, trying to advise the giraffe on that level.
Yes.
But what I didn't say is every giraffe, if he continues to grow, becomes a turtle in the next dimension. And so as you enter into different dimensions, whereas you're very high on this level, when you step into the next dimension, you step in on a ground level, 0 level, and have to grow your neck again to get to be a giant in that new idiom of thought. Yeah. And I really eat off of the things that I teach, because as I enter into new regimes, I'd have to make sure that I have that treetop thinking that I wrote about in the book. I have it on this level, but it's now being tried on this level, because the bar keeps moving.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, it does. It does, because, you know, we are a giraffe in this arena, but as soon as we get into the next level, we're back
somebody's turtle, baby. Absolutely.
Well, I just know, like, this book is changing lives, and this whole year, transformational thinking, I definitely agree with Oprah that it's like it turned up. You know, it turned up. I mean, it feels like an urgency, like you just have so much to give to all of us.
I want to give it, and I can't tell you. I'm still working through the process, so I probably ought not to even be talking about it, but it's amazing to me to put myself out there. When you put your thoughts out there, you put yourself out there, and to have them validated by response, and for people to say, this is helping me, it's changing my life, because I took the risk to open up a conversation from the crevices of my thoughts and soul with instinct, and to hear people tweet and text and hit me up on Instagram and say, I get it, and I can use it, and this is helping me. Oh, wow, I'm like drunk.
Hashtag team gifted.
Yeah, team gifted. Yeah, because that validates the pain that it caused me to get the information I now share, because every ounce of wisdom comes through some breaking in your life to produce it. The oil in my alabaster box has always been expensive. It's real expensive. And then to have somebody smell the aroma and say, wow, that's amazing, it justifies the pain through which I wrote it.
Well, that's what I love most about you, among all these celebrities, is because you share what it was like to get here. For people that are still trying to climb that ladder, we know about the pain that you experienced when you talk.
Absolutely.
When you talked to Mark Lamont Hill on Huffington Post, you said, we're healing each other.
Right.
And I just love that about you.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about it. People did get to see my stories and my scars and whatnot. Oprah said something about instincts when she read the book. She loved the book, and she said, I could have wrote this myself, you know. And she said that's how she lived her life, instinctively doing business in arenas that she had no background, and yet following her instincts to say yes or no, I'll do this deal or not do that deal. It's what made Oprah Winfrey be who she is. And I think it's what drives so many people to become successful in whatever arena, whatever success is. It's not always about money, I admit that. But nobody writes it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to write it because I wanted to give the tips that helped me and the thoughts that I processed through in the hopes that it would help somebody else. We need more of us who are treetop thinkers. We do.
Well, I really appreciate this time. I just have a few off-the-cuff questions to ask you. It's an either or. You don't really have to even think. And this is stuff I just learned about you.
Okay.
Getting a massage or going swimming? It's a rapid fire. You could pick
Swimming.
which one. West Virginia or Dallas, Texas?
Texas.
Basketball or football?
Neither. I'm lame at both of them. Let's try something else.
That dope shoe or that dope tie?
Woo. The shoe.
The shoe.
Yeah, I have a shoe fetish.
The song Inseparable or Great Is Thy Faithfulness?
Oh, it depends on what's going on at the moment. That's tough because you picked two songs that mean a whole lot to me. Great is Thy Faithfulness, because it was through His faithfulness that I got to have the kind of love that made me want to hear Inseparable. Yeah.
Guilty pleasure?
Guilt or pleasure?
Guilt or pleasure. Guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. You mean what is my guilty pleasure?
Yeah, what is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, what is not?
Okay.
Everything I love is wrong. Food, I like to eat. I like to layer, everything that's healthy. I don't want to eat it. Everything, But yeah, sometimes I indulge. I've really been more intentional about my weight and been exercising more and trying to
tell that too.
Can you?
Oh yeah.
But every now and then, I have to have a reward. A little banana pudding over there, fiending like a dope fiend. Yeah, it's true. Pray for me.
And my final question: what makes Bishop happy?
To be appreciated. There's nothing like it to be appreciated by those who matter most. To be appreciated by the masses, because I've given so much of my life that should have been my life, I gave to them. And to be appreciated on that level is important too. To be appreciated by God, to say, you didn't do everything right. I absolutely did not, and thank you, Jesus, for His blood and mercy. But you did enough things right that I'd say, well done. That's to be appreciated on all three levels. That nothing would make me happier than that.
Well, I'm a turtle, but I'm appreciating you like a giraffe.
Thank you. I told you, everybody's somebody's turtle. Trust me. I'm TD Jakes, and you're watching Studio Q.